Yo, hello guys. The maintenance has finally ended. We can enter now.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up and pull me back to reality. Hello, Chief. Welcome back.
Chief, the reconstruction effort is progressing smoothly. The surveillance order system is now available. The surveillance order system is unlocked. Please go and check. All daily and weekly tasks are shown here. Please check in time.
You're late. Keep up. Didn't you say you want to witness
After
the reformation
completing
of
the
Syndicate?
daily tasks,
Stay with me
or
at
the
all times.
progress accordingly. You can view the progress and claim your rewards here. What is this? I know this. Okay. Oh, fantastic, bro. Let me see. Oh, the maintenance rewards. Damn.
The sound of the wind is a
Oh. What did I miss here?
Iron said she'd buy us time.
It means
I
I'll
already
pursue
did
it.
this though.
This is the last one!
Is this a bug? Can collect it though.
This is the last one!
I think that's a bug. I'll do this later. I didn't complete this. Oh my god. Need to enter again. Damn. I'm playing through an emulator.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up and pull me back to reality. Hello, Chief. Welcome back.
Losing the most games. Science suspects hypnosis to be a pseudoscience, so she insists on observing the biological nerves signals of a patient and gets into a verbal fight with the hypnotist. Victoria claims that she saw her father in the dream slowly getting addicted to hypnosis and mania on his own. Alright, time to do the reading sense. Oh, resources. Let me check. Stargazer. Okay, I'll just do one. Give me one. Oh no, no luck. Rip, bro.
I haven't done anything bad in the past 2 years.
That's a lot of stamina.
Whatever you say, whatever.
Let me just.
With the purest admiration for art in the audience and the utter beauty in the world to interpret, I do not feel lonely.
Alright, let's start.
Don't fall behind!
After frantically opening your eyes, a white desert comes into focus. You are squeezed and pushed forth by the surging crowd. Yet no footprints are left behind you. In the blink of an eye, the massive sandstone blanketed the sky with an ear-splitting roar, slamming into you from all sides. One by one, countless figures are disintegrated into tiny specks of dust across the infinite desert. Only one figure stands firm in the midst of the storm, extending a helping hand towards you. Echoes from the abyss keeps murmuring in your ears.
Come to where I am. This is where you truly belong.
You jolt awake from the sandstorm, greeted by the familiar ceiling of your sleeping quarters. Lately you've been dreaming the same eerie scenes over and over again. You've lost track of how many times these dreams have recurred. The tasks you have at hand are numerous but trivial in nature. There hasn't been any major trouble from the sinners in the bureau, and your health report shows that all is well, thus there can only be one reason for this abnormal situation. You look at the surveillance feed from the lab. A crystal with dim colors. FAC sent it to the MBCC for inspection. After various careful inspections, the MBCC has not found anything special about it. A dull grayish-white crystal sits inside a sealed chamber. The lasers scan it repeatedly, but the values shown by the device remain flat. It is clear that it has long lost its reactivity. This is the special crystal that the FAC sent over for analysis not long ago. The ash crystal, which also marks the beginning of your strange dreams.
You're awake. Chief Guillotine of the Outland Affairs Bureau is requesting internal communications access. He wants to discuss the special crystal with you. He also has a cooperation proposal.
Hello, Access.
Hello, MBCC Chief. I'm Guillotine, Chief of Outland Affairs Bureau.
The Outland Affairs Bureau, officially the D-City Outland Affairs Management Bureau, is responsible for coordinating and managing matters pertaining to the city's external relations, such as trade, diplomacy, and immigration. I hear that the analysis assigned to your office has not progressed at all. I am very concerned that this will affect our next collaboration, a very important one.
Do you remember the White Sands Crisis Cooperation proposal submitted by the Outland Affairs Bureau? FAC has approved it and sent the application to the 9th Agency with the decision that MBCC would join alongside in battle.
So Langley's gonna join us. I certainly remember, however, the FAC's instruction were to prioritize the analysis of the ash crystal.
It is precisely because nothing came of your analysis, and we can only give you a new combat mission. As you know, we now hold the only strategic resource that can withstand the apocalypse, hypercubes. Thus, we have repeatedly surmounted the barriers of White Sands navigation and pilotage. Thanks to years of endless toil by the Outland Affairs Bureau, this city has been able to build a huge trade network in White Sands, negotiate with the Outlands by using hypercubes as leverage, and become the center of the world and the beacon of human renaissance.
Renaissance. Renaissance.
But recently, a horde of bandits appeared in White Sands and tried to rob our resources.
Excuse me. Raising his plump chin, the Outland Affairs chief fished out a letter with a grunt. Nightingale opens the mail, revealing a panoramic map of White Sands. The infinite white desert is almost identical to the pure white realm of your dreams. After the perishing star struck, the nightfall apocalypse swept across the world. A special white desert emerged from the heart of the desert as a result, gradually radiating and expanding outward. By now, the entire desert surrounding the city has transformed into a sea of white sand. The heart of White Sands has long been ravaged by a mega sandstorm known as the Tide of Ashes, which hinders the city from continuing to expand its transport routes and bring about a plethora of deadly secondary disasters.
3 months ago, White Sands sandstorm and secondary disasters suddenly became active. The gun-toting desert bandits seized the opportunity to repeatedly raid our trade routes and rob our hypercubes.
What is secondary disasters? So wait, let me check. Secondary disasters. I don't think I can find it. They'll mention it. Alright.
It was not until a week ago that these anomalies caught the attention of the FAC, who then allocated manpower for an emergency cleanup mission. During the battle, the FAC witnessed a desert bandit wielding an unknown crystal, from which he obtained some kind of mysterious power, similar to sinners. We believe this is why the bandits acted as though they were invincible. After comparing residual energy waveforms, the unidentified crystal matched the ash crystal that Edge obtained from the Tide of Ashes many years ago.
That's why they gave us the crystal to analyze.
Yet your analysis has produced nothing so far.
Would you like to give it a try? In that case, esteemed Outland Affairs Bureau Chief, would you like to try analyzing it yourself? Under your magnanimous leadership, perhaps it will spring to life and share with you its story.
You!
Lol. You ignore Gulatine's outburst and continue to read the letter with Nightingale.
This week, the FAC provided even more personnel to support the Outland Affairs Bureau, stretching its manpower capacity to the limit. Thus, it no longer has sufficient manpower to investigate the relationship between the desert bandits and the crystals in White Sands.
Therefore, we need the MBCC to discreetly probe the source of the desert bandits' power. If it's indeed related to sinners, arrest them immediately. This shall be a critical battle. Those greedy, despicable outlanders will use all sorts of dirty tricks to rob our hypercubes. Do you know how many vital trade routes they've sabotaged? How much business, resources, and money we've lost?
Gulatine is hysterical with anger on the other side of the comms, grinding his teeth ferociously as he speaks.
Anyway, that's the situation. I'm only giving you these confidential clues because the FAC repeatedly requested for the Outland Affairs Bureau to share intelligence. Here is a record of the Desert Bandits' actions in the past 3 months. Use it well.
The Desert Bandits have been rampant for nearly 3 months and still not have been brought under control. They hid their activity so well that even the FAC learned about it only a week ago. It seems that Chief Gulatine didn't take the Desert Bandits seriously at first. Only when the official trading post and sandstorm shelters were sacked and the hypercube sustaining transports were stolen did he realize the severity. Seems that Chief Guillotine didn't take the desert bandits seriously at first. Only when the official trading post and sandstone shelters were sacked and the hypercube sustaining transport was stolen did he realize the severity of the matter and began to seek help left and right.
Be careful, Chief. You are now dabbling with this city's lifeline.
Smoke
Under
Lolo.
normal circumstances, you wouldn't have this privilege. Don't try anything funny, and don't let us down, MBCC, Chief.
Guillotine stops her and hangs up the comms.
Chief, this may not be the most pleasant mission, but the FAC really has no time to wait for the sample's analysis results. They want you to leave right away.
You stare at the panoramic map, the recurring dream and the voice calling out to you surface in your mind once more. The operation is not just any mission, perhaps you can also discover the truth behind the dream. This city's port 12 is not the city's main port, but the trade volume is still impressive. In the early morning, hundreds of sand ships of all shapes and sizes are moored at the maintenance dock. They shall travel through the apocalypse, delivering cargo and linking the scattered remains of civilization to the new beacon of humanity. Even though the shipping containers pile as high as a grand fortress, this magnificent port is humbled by the vast white sands before it.
After standing here for just 2 minutes, the amount of sand in my mouth has already outnumbered every grain of rice I ever ate. Hey, Chief! Lend me a hiding spot. My face is gonna become weathered like sandpaper in this climate.
Even though you are wearing outfits specially designed for white sands, you still struggle to withstand the power of the sandstorm. The port is still at least a few kilometers away from the sandstorm, yet the ground is already shaking from its mighty roar. Sand ships must have sufficient weight and technical support, or else they would disintegrate into sand like the boulders by the edge of the storm. Here and now, the glorious vessels mooring at the port suddenly appear frail and piteous before the storm.
This is the huge sandstorm that Nightingale spoke of. The Tide of Ashes.
They call it a special mission, but no one's here to greet us. Does that old fart from the Outland Affairs Bureau want us to dive into white sands wrapped in cloaks?
According to the mission guidelines, you are to escort the ash crystal to Port 12 and wait for the greeting party there. Yet, now one can only imagine what kind of greeting party will be strong enough to withstand such a fearsome sandstorm. The sandstorm from your dreams is surfacing before your eyes. Perhaps instead of the desert bandits, white sands is your greatest enemy, hiding the biggest and darkest secrets.
Oh, guest from a land far, far away. A look of bewilderment lingers on your face. Would you like some help?
Yes, please. Yes, I need some help. Yes. An ethereal voice echoes from behind you. You turn around to see a woman donning exotic garb standing behind you. You don't know how long she has been there. How can you help me?
A guest of White Sands is a guest of mine. I can guide you along the path ahead and answer your innermost questions.
Thank you. Questions? I need something else.
I forgot to introduce myself. I am the Stargazer of White Sands. Would you like a prediction from me? Or perhaps...
Yes, perhaps. Oh my no, I don't want that. He takes out a translucent crystal ball. Your image is reflected inside with the twinkling starlight seemingly trying to bewitch you.
Would you like me to interpret some dreams you don't understand?
I'm quite curious. Though you weren't interested before, you change your mind when the woman mentions dream.
It seems you already know what you want to ask.
She takes your hand and places it onto the crystal ball. For a moment, the whistling sand seems to halt and the world falls into silence. All you hear is the voice of the woman before you.
Ahead of you, the raging gale brings destruction and the mighty earth trembles without end. The ends of the world shall be shaken, and so shall the abyss.
Abyss.
And you. Ignorance shall bring about your fall, and fear shall bring about your collapse. You shall be taken away from your past to face the chaos of the unknown. But there is no need to turn back. There is someone ahead to tread the path for you, someone to block the gale for you. As long as you march on, you have a chance to reach the true.
The face of the woman in front of you becomes a blur. Her smiling words dissipate mid-air. Oh, how can they help it? It's probably Kawakawa. You cannot wait to ask more, but you don't get any answers. A loud siren blasts across the port, pulling you out of the thick, shrouded air. A magnificent ship approaches you from the air. The blue light atop its bridge flickering through the whirling sand. As it slowly lands before you, Ella lets out an excited cry and pushes you and the Hecate toward it.
That's a hypercube force field that weakens the apocalypse and protects the sand ship as it travels through the tide of ashes. Looks like the FAC's greeting party has arrived. This will be our ship.
Phew! Help has arrived! And in a super cool luxury cruise ship, too. Come on, all aboard! Maiden voyage out of this city by Team Hella of the MBCC Special Combat Force, setting sail now!
Ella's excitement completely usurps her initial fear and demurrage. In front of the steely giant, she's jumping up and down like a starry-eyed schoolgirl on a film script. You, however, still have your mind on the encounter just now. Does the ship's arrival mean that the prophecy has been fulfilled, or is it just a bluffing ploy? You turn to look at the narrow path behind you. The woman who divined for you has vanished, as if she has never existed. Oddly, the interrupted prophecy lingers in your ears.
Go on. Someone ahead will light up the stars for you and take you back to where you truly belong.
Wait.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up and pull me.
When did I build this though?
You're late. Keep up. Didn't you say you want to witness the reformation of Syndicate? Stay with me at all times then.
20 more stamina. Oh.
Ha! You're late. Keep up. Didn't you say you want to witness the reformation of Syndicate? Stay with me at all times then.
Another 3 more levels. What it means by efficiency not max. Oh. That's kinda new. Really, it's not max. No, I need this to be max. 1, 2, 3. It's in max now. Watch it. Insanity crystal. What if I Alright, next.
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
Once you step into the cockpit, a mechanical female voice rings out from the broadcasting system like an emotionless news anchor.
Friends from the MBCC, welcome aboard. This is the V710 Central System. On behalf of Quinn, I would like to extend our warmest welcome. Quinn has learned that for several months, the notorious desert bandits have been seriously destabilizing White Sands, which brought noticeable disruptions to Dis City. In response, Quinn CEO Ms. Irene established the White Sands Development Foundation to do everything possible to support White Sands on its path to prosperity. Recently, we learned that the Minos Bureau of Crisis Control will participate in White Sands counter-bandit operation. With the blessing of the Outland Affairs Bureau, we acquired the latest sand ship V710 for you to show our support.
Irene! Thank you for your support. We look forward to working with you.
Chief, how are you so calm? It's Quinn we're talking about. That super loaded corporation in Eastside. Their CEO Irene is not only a ravishing beauty, but also a genius businesswoman. Her corporation Quinn formed only 8 years ago, yet managed to totally sideline all the old money in Eastside. Those old farts are so bitter that they launch smear campaigns against her in the media every day. Too bad for them, because Quinn earned a solid reputation by splurging on Eastside charities every year, so not many people believe their slander. Alas, I love seeing those waste money and effort but end up getting defeated. It's my daily source of joy.
A low call the Grant heralded the appearance of Chief Detain on the comms screen.
Chief, how unsurprising that someone under your command has been bought off by Quinn's cheap tricks.
You're the one who's been brought up.
Everyone wants to bribe the Outland Affairs Bureau, Chief. Even the FAC. They just need the opportunity. But I will not give Quinn this chance. They are propped up by dirty forces who I suspect are linked to the Outlands.
Don't you love taking advantage of them too? You even got them to buy you this great big ship.
Let me give you a word of advice. Never feel indebted to Quinn. They did what they're supposed to do. Don't forget your mission. Also, the ash crystal in your possession will be placed in a special vault built by the Outland Affairs Bureau. Be careful. You cannot afford to bear the consequences of losing it.
Anything else?
Go meet the navigator of the V710. He is the one who will truly support you.
Kawa. Bulletin's comms avatar flickered for a few moments before disappearing. It seems that although the sand ship is a Queen asset, it is completely under the control of the Outland Affairs Bureau. The navigator?
The V710's navigator, Mr. Kawakawa, is also an exceptional White Sands explorer.
I hear that White Sands explorers are extremely rare, often appearing in the most dangerous parts of the desert. They are the ones most familiar with this desert. Chief, we should go see him first.
so good. How can there be something so soft? And this, so spicy, so satisfying. V710, the food you prepared is so delicious. It's so much better than my usual meals of grilled scorpions and lizards.
Thank you for your praise, Mr. Kawakawa. There are also other dishes available on the V710. Would you like to sample them too?
There's more. Next time. I'm full. I mustn't waste food.
This little kid is our navigator?
Ella stares at the burping boy in disbelief.
White Sands was once a forbidding no man's land. Today's trade routes are forged by countless explorers who, despite the hardships and risks, choose to enter the sandstorm to collect data and chart the area. As one of the explorers, Mr. Kawakawa is qualified to be the V710's navigator.
I'm not that great. I owe everything to my predecessors. I simply cannot compare with them.
Great Kawakawa. Hello, Mr. Navigator. I'm the MBCC Chief. Moklolo.
Chief? Wow. So I'm navigating for such an important guy.
Kawakawa wipes his hands on himself before grabbing it.
So, if you face any problems, let me know. I'll do my best to help.
Ella looks at Kawakawa, who still has oil smeared across his lip. She edges close to you and whispers in your ear.
Hey, is this kid really up for the job? He gets nervous even around you. If we encounter desert bandits...
Boom! What happened?
It's an attack. Chief, do you need us to?
No worries. This is part of my plan for the V710.
Plan.
The V710 was originally a battleship, but we disguised it as hyperdeep freighters who were in the desert pits. When they fight the bait, I'll lead them to the quicksand trap in White Sands and wipe them out.
There's sand and dust everywhere! I can't see a thing! Can you really run and hide at the same time?
Leave it to me. I know White Sands like the back of my hands.
Kawakawa goes to the bridge and turns the V710 around to advance against the wind. The bridge's hypercube force field deflects the billowing sand, opening up a safe combat zone for you in the ear.
Go on deck right now.
When you arrive on deck, you can clearly feel that the sandstorm has weakened.
V710, go around the sand dune ahead.
Command received. Reminder, this is an uncharted route, so unknown incidents are likely to occur. Please focus and respond carefully.
Don't worry, I take this route often. I can guarantee your safety.
The V710 obeys Kawakawa's command and soars behind the dune, which blocks the desert's bandits' gunfire. The bandits' bullets stir up a haze of white sand, obscuring their vision and disrupting their flotilla formation.
Chief, the desert bandits have changed their attack strategy. There are several guerrilla boats approaching.
Let's show them what we've got. It's time for the V710 to become a battleship again.
This long-range firepower to defeat pursuing enemies.
come close! Full system locked on. Clear area.
You've gotten too close.
Good going, Kawakawa. You got guts. I hereby declare you are now the 4th member of Team Hella of the MBCC Special Combat Force.
My ambition is
Kawakawa smiles and bashes
finish charting White Sands
and smiles bashfully.
It's just the basics of navigation. Think nothing of it. My whole purpose here is to protect you guys along the way. So I'm happy whenever I can be of help.
We can't relax just yet. The desert bandit attack hasn't stopped yet.
You can count on me to have your backs. Go and fight them without worry.
They will suffer no longer. That is
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
Team Hella has snatched its first victory! And the MVP is Captain Hella! Damn, why did they turn around? They can't beat us, so they flee like cowards. We can't let them get away!
Understood. B710, enable auxiliary aim and fire mode.
Command successfully received. Automatically searching for enemy targets. Targets within range locked. Ready to fire.
The V710 chases after the fleeing guerrilla boats and shoots them down one by one. The desert bandits fall from the ships like flies trapped by Hake's nightmare.
Chief, all targets have been defeated. Attention, the desert bandits' fleet is retreating.
This victory is too easy. You gaze at the fleeing enemies, wondering to yourself, how did these easily beatable desert bandits make so much trouble for the city?
Chief, if we stop chasing them now, the target fleet will escape.
What are you hesitating for, dummy? Even if we get ambushed by more desert bandits, they would be no match for the V710.
Information and knowledge on White Sands in this city is limited. The files given to you by the Outlet Affairs Bureau also have no conclusive data about the desert bandits. You cannot guarantee a victory even if you continue a chase. Kawakawa is the direction in which they flee, a safe route.
Let me see. This direction seems to have no existing routes. Let's not make any rash moves. The first priority of navigating White Sands is to make sure the route is safe. V710, retrieve satellite imagery of the area that the desert bandits are fleeing towards.
Satellite imagery appear before your eyes. The scenes depicted make all of you gulp and shudder.
Ugh. What are those disgusting worms? Oh gosh, I'm I'm getting goosebumps all over.
Those are sandworms. They are the most commonly found creatures in White Sands, and usually live underground.
Then why did they come to the surface? Just taking some fresh air?
Oh no. According to my grandpa's records, when sandworms show signs of mass agitation, it means the tide of ashes is going to arrive. We'd better find shelter now and hide from the tide of ashes. Otherwise, if we are caught in the storm, everyone's life will be in grave danger.
Kawa leads everyone back into the cockpit, opens the map and searches for the nearest shelter. He then charts a safe route to venture through.
Hey, is that tide thing really that scary? Even the V710 can't withstand it? Didn't you say this ship could protect us?
The V710's hypercube force field can indeed protect us while navigating through sandstorms. However...
Kawa pauses and raises his head. His childlike face is twisted into a frown, causing everyone to worry.
if we run into the tide of ashes, then it's a whole different story.
Isn't that just a big sandstorm? What's the difference?
In the depths of the tide of ashes, there is an unknown horror. The Apostle of Ashes.
The Apostle of Ashes? An old sketch with some indescribable human-shaped figures on it. The figures are going forward in a team with white sands. Some small handwriting are on top of it. They are like the messenger of the host, searching for the confused believers, bringing them into the tide to death. Kawa flips open his notebook and shows you a pencil sketch. The black and grey pencil marks scrawled all over the paper are so oppressive that it makes one hard to breathe. Several colossal silhouettes loom in the suffocating darkness, squeezed one next to another, surging forward.
No one has ever seen what the Apostle of Ashes looks like, but those who narrowly escape death from the tide of ashes have seen huge, ominous black shadows wandering in its depths. The survivors describe them like this. They are like messengers of the gods, searching for lost followers, leading them to their deaths in the tide. This explains the origin of the name Apostle of Ashes.
Kawa gazes into the distance, scratching his head awkwardly.
But actually, I've always wanted to see the heart of the tide of ashes. But it would be too dangerous for you. I have no way of ensuring everyone's safety.
I hope this kind of fictitious urban legend isn't discouraging anyone from the MBCC.
Gosh, where did you come from? You know, in that kind of atmosphere just now, you could scare someone to death by popping out like that!
Detain raises his eyebrows in displeasure at Hella's outburst.
It is the responsibility and duty of the Outland Affairs Bureau to discipline those who desert their post in the face of battle, regardless of time or place.
Huh? Who are you accusing of desertion?
The enemies that have been plaguing this city are within reach. This is the best chance to wipe out the desert bandits once and for all. If you give up the chase now because of a mere tide of ashes, it would be hard for the Outland Affairs Bureau to not be suspicious.
Detain pauses for a moment, his eyes darting through the group before fixing his gaze on Kawa.
First, you arrange the ship. Then you arrange the crew. And now, you're letting go of the best chance to catch the enemy. It's I have all the evidence I need. You are the treacherous traitors who colluded with the Outlands and Desert Bandits to sabotage state-sponsored hypercube trade.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about, old man? Put your money where your mouth is and come chase them with us!
This is your mission, not mine. In any case, quitting this chase is not an option. We want to see results from your mission immediately.
He finally spits out a vicious warning before hanging up the comms. Now that the V-710's freighter disguise has been exposed, the desert bandits won't come near it again. This is indeed the only chance to approach the bandits. Continue the chase.
Chief, it's too dangerous. Are you sure?
As long as we wipe out the desert bandits before the tide of ashes arrives, we'll be fine. Kawa, please do everything you can to help us. Sensing that your mind is made up, Kawa pats you on the shoulder and laughs.
My father once told me the most dangerous thing in the world is not taking risks. You're a gutsy one, and I love that. V-710, stay on course and chase them down!
Understood.
I will try my best to avoid the sandworms and keep everyone safe!
A huge sand dune looms ahead, completely blocking the desert bandits' path.
Finally, they hit a dead end! These guys are too good at fleeing.
Chief, time is running out.
A sky-high wall of sand has already risen in the horizon. You immediately order Kawa to prepare fire support to eliminate the desert bandits in one swoop. But to your surprise, several desert bandits came out from a nearby boat to sneer at you.
Did you have fun chasing us, you disgusting lackeys? Did you think we were dead and can't escape? It's a pity that the ones dying here today are you.
The chief's scale bombard can use the ship for 5 hours above.
Back off! Don't come close!
Death is your only destination.
Wow. You watch as the sneering desert bandit takes out a blood-red teardrop-shaped crystal and places it into a strange device. Instantly, a massive spurt of suffocating energy shoots out from the device, enveloping the area.
Chief, the thing in his hand appears to be an ash crystal.
Good. We can see what this ash crystal can do. Blah!
The hull of the V710 P10 suddenly shakes violently, flinging you all to the ground.
The sand is rolling. Chief, there's something underground.
It's the sandworms! They're moving underground and heading toward us!
Huh? Why? Didn't we steer clear of them just now?
It seems that the desert bandits are controlling the sandworms with the ash crystal.
Controlling sandworms? I've never heard of anyone who could control sandworms.
Oh, so you actually guessed what this is used for? That's fine. Soon, I'll go back to being the only one in the world who knows. Come, my monsters, come play with these brats.
Boom! Many giant sandworms swarm out from underground and surge towards you. Ella wipes the mucus off her face with disgust, her mouth puckered way up.
These disgusting sandworms are everywhere! We can't drive them away fast enough!
We cannot break through the encirclement. Chief, it's a trap. We're stuck.
These desert bandits are just as despicable as the sandworms! Come fight me one-on-one if you have the gall! Dumb You
Your syndicate cursing won't help you now, wench. Too bad. I won't respond to your provocations.
Oh, boss, you're truly the... You knew right away that something was off about this ship. We must have made the Dis City bigwigs lose their minds from anger. They're now even resorting to dirty tactics like disguising a battleship as a hypercube freighter. They even hired Syndicate thugs, too.
This city has been living large from the hypercubes for too long. It's time for them to face the truth. Without the precious hypercubes, they are nothing.
Upon hearing their boss' riveting declaration, the desert bandits cackle wildly. Some even hoist up their victory flag. You know the desert bandits are trying to provoke you to deplete the V710 reserves so that you can become completely defenseless. Confirm the V710 status.
Power and navigation systems normal. Hypercube force field status activated. Ammunition reserves 90%.
If it weren't for these sandworms, we'd have enough ammunition to blast those desert bandits many times over! Damn it! Hey, Kawa! You know White Sands better than any of us! Is there any way we can lose those disgusting sandworms and directly fight the bandits?
Actually, there is a way. But even if we can get past the controlled sandworms, the biggest problem now is that we've been held up for too long. It is coming.
You all follow Kawakawa's case into the distance. Across the vast and boundless white sands, the roaring gale has whipped up sand waves 10,000 feet high. As the sandstorm bounces towards you, the grey behemoth behind it comes into the view.
Is that the Tide of Ashes? So, they want to use the Tide of Ashes to kill us.
Yes, that's the desert bandits' plan. They want to eliminate a big quick from this city to showcase their power. They want this city to not only overlook their previous hypercube haze, but to share hypercube resources with this city from now on. The buzzing in your ears grows ever more shrill as the tide of ashes prepares to overwhelm you.
Activate the hypercube force field! At least try to avoid the incoming!
Boom! It was too late. With a few roaring shots, the Desert Bandits cannons strike the V-710's anti-apocalypse equipment. The hypercube force field disappears in an instant. The tide of ashes surges forward and swallows everything.
Oh, arrogant citizens. Have a taste of the wrath we have felt towards you for so long. You monopolize all the resources and look down upon us outlanders. Experience your ignorance and faults in endless pain. Soon, death shall be your only relief.
Captain, there's a new target. The scouting team has identified a hypercube freighter.
Great. Take the ash crystal. We need it to escape the tide of ashes. Wrap up the team and head out.
The roaring wind sweeps up countless white sand, relentlessly pummeling everything around you. You half kneel on the deck, grasping the railing. Without the ability to move, you can only watch as the desert bandits disappear to the distance.
Chief, come over here!
Moklulu, come over here. You look towards the direction of the voice and see a slender beacon emitting warm yellow light, projecting a hemispherical shield. At the center of the shield is Kawakawa, who is extending his hand and anxiously calling out to you.
Chief, come to the beacon! This is only the edge of the tide of ashes. My shield can still withstand it.
Shield, you have no time to ponder about it right now. You must bring Hela and Hecate to Kawakawa.
I can't! The wind is too strong! I can't reach you! Help me!
Chief, use the shackles. Strengthen the nightmare. Let it take us.
Use the shackles. The enhanced nightmare drags you towards Kawakawa inch by inch. But just as you are about to reach the shield, a swarm of sandworms surge out from the ground. You instinctively push Hela and Hecate into the shield.
Chief! Now, what's next?
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
Why the sun do this? You feel yourself fall. It's as if someone is guiding you from behind, pushing you into the endless silence. For some reason, before you completely lose consciousness, the indecipherable prophecy emerges from the depths of your memory.
Ahead of you, the raging gale brings destruction and the mighty earth trembles without end. The ends of the world shall be shaken, and so shall the abyss. And you, ignorance shall bring about your fall, and fear shall bring about your collapse. You shall be taken away from your past to face the chaos of the unknown. But there is no need to turn back. There is someone ahead to tread the path for you, someone to block the gale for you. As long as you march on, you have a chance to reach the true. Go on. Someone ahead will light up the stars for you and take you back to where you truly belong.
Did the mysterious stargazer also foresee everything that is happening? Darkness envelops everything around you. Your consciousness surges as if a vortex has spun it a million times. The overwhelming nausea forces you awake. I will open my eyes. You have no idea how long you've been swallowed by the tide of ashes. Space at the time seems to have lost their meaning in the manic realm. You try to call out for Hecate and Hela, but the sounds from your mouth are torn to pieces, all twist and reorganize into bizarre syllables. In the midst of the grey haze, something is moving. It seems to be invisible and intangible, but it definitely is there. No, they are slowly moving and stopping. Wherever they pass, they leave behind their horrifying sound and presence. Yet you can see their true faces. No matter how much you concentrate, only hazy black shadows appear before your eyes. So you simply stand among them quietly, like an outsider that doesn't fit in but also like something to be swallowed and assimilated. You remember the terrifying figure mentioned by Kawakawa, the apostle of ashes. Nearby the storm rages on, yet you are caught in the eye of dead silence and isolation facing these nebulous but deadly apostles. It's fine, you reassure yourself. Though your mind is tense, you know that your link with Hecate has not been broken. At least they are still alive, and perhaps you are also still alive too. Amidst the dead silence, even your breathing becomes tense and cautious. You want to concentrate and figure out a way to escape, but somehow, as if caught in a magnetic field, your thoughts slowly collapse. A subtle sound different from the constant rustling breaks through the dead silence. The huge black shadows surrounding you seem to sense something and turn in unison towards the sound. Is that? Alarm bells are going off in your head. Hecate and the others must have found help, but the rescue crew is surely doomed. The black shadows around you laugh freely. By the time you react, the fleet of ships in your vision had been swallowed up by the black shadows. You hear blood-curdling shrieks and wails, distorted by the sandstorm. Yet the ships at the back did not stop, still cruising at normal speed towards your direction. Stay away. Howls echo from a lifeboat near you, and several manic rescue crew members jump out from it. Their eyes are bleached back as if walking corpses with their souls drained from them. They run wildly towards you. Run, your mind is preoccupied with this one thought and your body starts to instinctively run away. The wind begins to lash about wildly in the disrupted silent zone, trying to push you back into the deadly realm. The desert sand wraps around your fleeing feet like quicksand, engulfing your body bit by bit. It wants you to keep you in the tide of ashes forever. I will not and cannot die here.
I never said you'd die here.
The roar of an engine rings in your ears as someone pulls you forcefully by the collar and yanks you out of the quicksand. The rescue crew members who had been swallowed up and transformed into corruptors all seem to sense the quicksand. They bypass the area and lunge towards you, their faces snarling and their bodies twisting wildly.
You forced me to do this!
You are all done for.
I am the Legion.
You forced me to do this!
You've gotten too close.
You are all done.
Let the dance begin.
I am the Legion.
They will suffer no longer. That is good.
Ooh! Mutated Christ.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll...
Oh, I need that.
You're late. Keep up. Didn't you say you want to witness the reformation of Syndicate? Stay with me at all times then.
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
Oh, oh, oh. So far. Tingling, tingling. You hear a few delicate metallic chimes ahead of you. The limbo chaos is suddenly split by invisible force, revealing the blinding light of the outside world.
Dun, dun, dun. La 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 la.
You see someone treading a sandstone towards you. She hums a strange tune that spells the frightful wrong. It's you, Stargazer.
Poor child. Let me help you.
She speaks softly to you as countless black shadows spread out from the crystal ball in her hand. They wrap tightly around you, the pursuing corruptors stretching from their ankles to their necks. A suffocating sensation makes the corruptors tremble, and their eyes almost pop out of their sockets. You hold your breath and your heartbeat quickens, as if you are also tightly entangled by those dark shadows. Is this her power? You can feel it. She has not tried to hide it at all. It is the power of the sinners, a power stemming from Mania. Say something, say nothing, say nothing. Watch quietly as she approaches, not averting your gaze.
Do you fear me?
I shall not fear my wife. You shake your head. No, you helped me twice. I have no reason to fear you. What I fear is the absence of ashes. You watch the eerie black shadows loom closer and closer. You know very well that once they devour you, will be reduced to a monster without a soul.
Fear is a prayer of pessimism, and the apostles will answer that call. My dear guest, if you want this place to become heaven, your heart must become heaven first. It seems you still do not understand. Do I need to phrase it differently for you to comprehend?
The stargazer cups your face, turning your gaze away from the postman of ashes and towards herself. You are mesmerized by her vivid purple eyes and can no longer look away.
Oh, poor dear. You look awful. Seems like you are truly frightened. Don't worry. With me by your side, you will be safe. Lean on me as much as you wish.
No, just as you blurt out your protest, the shell encasing the void and the dead silence passes through you and the stargazer before fading away into the whirling sands. You look at the stargazer in mild disbelief. Doshte, why?
As I said, fear has power. It attracts and drives the apostles of ashes.
The stargazer gently caresses your face as if teaching a child who knows nothing about the world.
The humans of this city think they understand White Sands. Yet whether it's White Sands or the world at large, there's too much that they're ignorant of. Ignorance breeds arrogance, and likewise fear. Over the years, the Apostles of Ashes have accumulated immeasurable power from fear. This is why just citizens keep perishing in White Sands despite wielding hypercubes. They perish from the power of their own fear.
Thank you for saving me again just now.
You saved yourself. I just gave you a bit of guidance. You have the power to resist against fear. You are just a bit lost. When the confusion dissipates, you shall become more resilient than others.
You start to say something, but the stargazer spins the crystal ball in her hand. The shapeless black mist inside diffuses, revealing a reflection.
As for now, I think you need new strength and a new companion. That person shall be the one to show you the way forward.
You stare at the stargazer. You don't know whether her words count as prophecy or guidance, but it is undeniable that she is a powerful sinner. More importantly, she has knowledge and wisdom that even White Sands explorers can't match. No matter what you decide to try in the name of Queen. Try on your own account. New strength, new company. I think I see that right in front of me. Miss Stargazer, are you willing to join my fleet and continue to help me? Afterwards, I will apply for a substantial sum of funds to compensate your help.
You know, the first half of what you said is a lot like the vows exchanged by lovers at a wedding in this city.
Yes, it is what it is. It is.
Regardless of what you said in the second half, at least the first half makes me feel quite satisfied. However...
Stargazer squints her eyes as if waiting for you to profess some more vows to sweeten the deal. What condition can sway you?
How about this? You promise to do one thing for me, and I'll agree to this deal.
Sure.
I'll tell you what you need to do later. Don't be nervous. It's nothing difficult.
Before you can answer, Stargazer wards the hovercraft and extends a hand towards you.
Have you made up your mind? Will you come with me?
Yes, boss. You seem to have no other choice. I'll come with you.
I admire your decisiveness.
Before you can think things through, Stargazer yanks you onto the hovercraft.
It's time to get out of here.
Where are we going?
Brace yourself for the real White Sands.
After some violent turbulence, the hovercraft begins using the air currents as its force to weave through the gaps of the sandstorm. You never thought that one could navigate through a sandstorm without a hypercube force field. Forced to the sands, you instinctively worry about your well-being.
Don't be afraid. The desert approves of you.
Stargazes nonchalant towards echo in your ears. Before you have a chance to ponder the meaning of her words, you see her calmly maneuvering the hovercraft towards a huge wall of sand. Be careful. As soon as you say that, the strong pressure you had been encountering abruptly disappears.
There. I have completed your request.
You sit in the back of the hovercraft, floating gently across the white desert. The sandy winds around you gradually weakens, and the harsh whistling sound fades from your ears. We escaped?
Escape? I suppose for you, the word escape is indeed fitting. Let me think. There should be a shelter around here. Ah, yes. This way.
The stargazer raises her finger and casually points to the distance. Squint your eyes, spotting a small black dot resembling a building in the distance. However, when you get closer, you encounter some unwanted guests, sandworms. The tide of ashes has receded by it, but by its after effects, the sandworms are still in a state of frenzy. They frantically trash against the shelter's hypercube force field, trying to attack all items they can send.
I had wanted to take you to the shelter to sort things out, but now the shelter is in an even stickier situation than us.
Head to the shelter.
You've suffered from the sandworms before, yet you still have the courage to face them again. You've got guts.
There are innocent people in shelter. I can't just sit back and do nothing. And with you around, the sandworms shouldn't be too much of a problem.
But right now, there are only two of us. It's a bit hard to deal with frenzied sandworms while also trying to protect the shelter at the same time. The best solution in this situation is to lure them away from the shelter without any direct conflict.
Right now, their attention is entirely on the living beings inside the shelter. How do we?
I have a way to lure them away, but they need to calm down first. It looks like they'll be in a frenzied state for quite some time.
Cracks have already formed on the shelter's bowsprit. If no action is taken, it will only be a matter of time before the sandworms break through. We can't wait any longer. I'll find a way to calm them down, or at least distract them from the shelter. You pop off the hovercraft and run towards the shelter. Since the power of the ash crystals is related to the power of Mania, could the power of your shackles have some effect on the sandworm? You grit your teeth and decide to give it a try. Too late. So long, man.
Death is your own.
You forced me to do this!
The red light in your palm dissipates and the sandworms in front of you stop the attack. They back away little by little as if afraid of something. The stargazer pilots the hovercraft and looks at you for a long time.
Good job. Worthy of admiration.
The stargazer waves her hand and thin rays of twinkling light descend from mid-air. The sandworms who had frozen in their tracks noticed these light rays and began chasing them away from their shelter. The sandworms depart into the distance, sweeping up a breeze. You smell a strange fragrance. Nani gaita? What did you use?
It's a special spice that the sandworms love.
The sandworms can be lured away this easily.
Little one, White Sands and all its creatures have never sought to take anyone's life. The humans are the ones who ignore the pre-existing rules of White Sands and presume to establish their own order. They sacrifice their companions for the sake of power and put all the blame on White Sands so that they can be at peace with themselves. Humans are such hypocrites. See? Like that.
Not far away, you see a few desert bandit teams hiding underground. Hurry away because they notice the sandworms leaving.
Oh crap! We have to go back and tell the captain. The plan failed!
Those who drive the sandworms to attack humans are humans themselves. Don't you find it absurd?
Spawned into the stargazer. Yes, such people do exist among humans, but aside from them, the rest will not sit idly by and let this happen. The stargazer smiles and shakes her head. He leans on her boat without refuting your words.
It's time for us to go to the shelter. My Ferrari needs a good rest and refueling.
You immediately tail behind the stargazer and accidentally hear her murmur something. Unfortunately, her words are inaudible in the wind. What did she say?
All thanks to invincible me.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie.
Can we who have superhuman powers and knowledge ever be accepted by human society? No. Humans will see us as heretics and monsters. They want to expel us, imprison us, and destroy us. Because nothing arouses the most primitive fear in the human heart more than the unknown. little one, we're here. This is the White Sands shelter.
The stargazer leads you inside the shelter. The people in the shelter are gathered on opposite sides with their heads bowed. Seemingly unwilling to communicate with you, they sneak glances at you, but once you meet their eyes, they avert their gazes. Are they afraid?
Yes, they're afraid. Perhaps if you announce your affiliation with Quinn, they will be welcoming towards you. After all, Quinn's generosity is well known in this area. Too bad you're with me.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means you're affiliated with heresy, dispelling sandworms, traveling through sandstorms, and returning alive from the tide of ashes. There's no one who wouldn't fear such a monster.
Don't say that. I don't think you're a monster. Upon hearing your words, Stargazer chuckled.
I'm glad you're willing to speak out on my behalf. However, did you ever stop to think that perhaps you think this way because you're a monster too?
Stargazer comes up to your ear and answers you in a hushed tone that only you can hear. Her warm breath is laced with that exotic fragrance. It encircles your ears, causing you to tremble.
Don't worry. I never care what those people think of me.
Stargazer smiles unconcernedly and turns to walk out of the shelter. You turn to follow her, but a gush of whispers from the crowd stops you in your tracks.
Do you see that? The monsters from White Sands really listen to her. The monsters don't kill her. Does that mean she's a monster too?
Watch your mouth. People are listening.
Stargazer is right. These people regard her as heretic.
Judging from your attire, you must be from this city.
An old man in rags block your path. Yes.
You're the first and only person I've ever met who speaks to the great Stargazer. Are you not afraid of her?
Why are they afraid?
She's often accompanied by the monsters from White Sands, and can even control those monsters. And her eyes are so strange. Some say that when you look into her eyes, she will bewitch and control you. Oh, and that crystal ball she always carries around, even though her prophecies are never good. Foreseeing the future is not something anyone can do. Many say that she turns those who approach her into the monsters in White Sands.
Huh. So she's on the side of the monsters. She's the one who brought the tide of ashes.
Watch your mouth. Don't poke trouble with your careless words. Dear citizen, take my advice. Don't get too close to the Stargazer, or else you might also turn into a soulless monster.
Respond politely. Thank you for your kind advice. But I hope you get to know Stargazer more yourself before passing judgment. The old man looks at you and sighs, realizing that he can't convince you to stay away from Stargazer. He waves his hand to disperse the crowd. The shelter returns to its usual calm. You rush to catch up with the Stargazer.
You're back? Heard what you wanted to hear.
These somewhat frosty words burrow into your ears. Stargazer is still smiling, but you feel that she's now a bit guarded towards you. Answer the Stargazer. I just heard a few things about you, like how much you seem to like white sand.
That's right.
I often had a recurring dream before coming to white sands. In the dream, I stand in the middle of a white desert caught in a sandstorm. But I don't feel afraid because at the end of the dream, a pair of hands always rescues me from the sandstorm. Hence when the corporation wanted someone to explore white sands for business opportunities, I volunteered to take up the job.
Dreams are the projection of reality. You are indeed special and beloved by White Sands. Though you are beloved by White Sands, will you choose it in return? Will you leave the human world?
You have no immediate answer and sink deep into thought. The sound of heavy cannon fire abruptly saps you back to senses. Not far away, the fleeing desert bandits had reassembled and are launching another attack on the shelter. Countless bullets and shells rain down. You subconsciously step in front of Stargazer to protect her.
Little one, are you trying to protect me? There is no need to be afraid of them at all. We will be fine. Because your companions shall come save you.
As soon as her voice fell, a black shadow zips before your eyes, destroying the desert bandits ship. Nightmare, it's a kid.
Hey! And me!
A familiar sand ship comes into view. A petite figure leaps from it, knocking out the desert bandit trying to approach.
Chief! Don't just stand there! Get ready to beat the crap out of these desert bandits with me!
What just happened? Bro, the game's stuck, bro. Let me restart it real quick. That's my PC problem. The game is good. Come on.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up and pull me back to reality.
Come on.
Hello, Chief.
I can just skip it.
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
Oh, alright. Attacks the enemy with the highest max HP first, then dealing damage inflicts an extra max HP of a certain percentage. 2 damage to the target. Sprays acid on the grid where the enemy is, dealing 2 damage over time.
You forced me to do this!
You are all done for.
You've gotten too close.
Death is your only destination.
You forced me to do this!
I am the Legion.
You forced me to do this!
You are all done.
Your only destination.
You've gotten too close.
After cleaning up the battlefield, Ella and Hecate wave at you from the entrance at the V710.
Chief, it's time for us to get on board.
You freeze upon hearing Hecate call you Chief. Spin around to look at the stargazer. Her half smile makes your hair stand on end.
Chief, this doesn't sound like the title of a Quinn businessman.
Hey, sure.
Let me guess. You're with the Dis City authorities.
Admit your true identity. Sorry for hiding this from you. I was sent by the authorities to eliminate the desert bandits. Although I lied about my identity, the promise I made still stands. The stargazer shakes her head and pushes you gently from behind.
No matter who you are, I have already finished your request. Get on board. It's time to part ways.
You turn your head back, the stargazer is back on the Ferroti, riding side saddle into the desert, sunset like a painting printed on a tarot card. You do not want to part with her. She is powerful yet calm, with a plethora of knowledge about white sands. There are all qualities that are indispensable for eliminating the desert bandits. Moreover, she is a sinner. With this in hand, you immediately turn back to walk towards the Stargazer. Invite the Stargazer to board. If I offer to hire you as an advisor for this mission on behalf of the city authorities, will you accept?
I have already completed your request.
Then what if I invite you as the MBCC chief? Stretch out your hand to her, revealing the power of the shackles in your palm. I can help you, and I also need you. Your wisdom can help me defeat the desert bandits. I promise I won't let them hurt you. The Stargazer doesn't accept or refuse. He simply flashes an unknowing smile.
Lead the way, Chief.
Chief!
The revelry is over. Rest in peace. I will take you home. Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up and pull me back to reality. Hello, Chief. Welcome back.
Alright, I think that's it for today's event. I'm gonna do some minor moves. Let's try Ola. My luck, be exact. I want iron though. Oh, this is better. I'm not really interested in her. But then man, I don't know, man. 1, 2, 3.
Eastside Firefighting Ambassador Flora reporting for...
Oh, chameleon. We'll go one more.
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
New personnel data entry in progress. Facial recognition for Stargazer successful. Welcome aboard the V710.
As you step into the cockpit, your three companions look towards you in unison and gawk at Stargazer behind you. Introduce Stargazer to your companions. When I was trapped in the tide of ashes, Stargazer saved me and brought me to the shelter. He excels at dealing with various crises in White Sands, so I invited her to be our special advisor. If we run into trouble, she'll help us. You do not forget the existence of the All-Planned Affairs Bureau and deliberately omit Stargazer's inner identity in your introduction to avoid unnecessary repercussions.
You mean, not only did she go inside the Tide of Ashes all by herself, she also got you out too? That's incredible. It's almost impossible to tell where you're going inside the Tide of Ashes. How did you do it? Oh yeah, did you see an Apostle of Ashes? If you saw one, can you tell me about...
The long, slender finger presses against Kawakawa's lips.
Shh. You ask so many questions. Where shall I start?
Hey, 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 choo! Kawakawa's face flushes bright red. He hurriedly takes a few steps back and looking embarrassed.
Look at how bashful Kawakawa has become. He's even at a loss for words.
I'm not.
You can't help but smile as you watch Ella tease Kawakawa. But the Stargazer does not partake in the scene. Her distant and detached disposition reminds you that even though you revealed your true identity, there is still a barrier between you two.
Your name is Kawakawa, right? It's true that it's impossible to pinpoint directions in the Tide of Ashes. However, there are countless air currents, and one can leave by simply following the direction of the currents.
There's a lot of turbulence in the Tide of Ashes. Even if you follow the currents, there's a high chance of getting caught in the turbulence. Once caught in the turbulence, it is theoretically impossible to get out alive.
Yes, this relies on the experience of the pilot. However, there is another foolproof way, and that is to use an ash crystal. It can drive away sandworms and pierce through ashes, for it is a creation born from the Tide of Ashes and the infallible treasure of the desert bandits.
Kawakawa looks down and ponders for a moment before showing an epiphany.
I understand now. No wonder the people of this city tell me they cannot explore other routes, because this city's ash crystal died.
Once an ash crystal dies, it becomes useless. You cannot use it to deal with the desert bandits. Unless You find a way to reactivate it.
The stargazer's words plunged the room into silence. The power of the Christ crystal is related to Mania, and your shackles also seem to be able to affect the sandworms. That's certainly a possibility. There may be a chance to reactivate a dead ash crystal. Ask Stargazer. If I give you our dead ash crystal, would you be able to find a way to reactivate it? For the first time, you see Stargazer fall into silence. Everyone else looks doubtful. But out of trust and respect for you, no one questions your suggestion except...
I cannot believe what I just heard. You want to give the ash crystal to some unknown woman? I will never allow this under my watch. At first, I turned a blind eye to the fact that you invited someone who is not part of the mission to participate without permission. Now it seems that the Outland Affairs Bureau will have to reassess the security clearance of this individual. V710, I order you to immediately
The Outland Affairs Bureau comes abruptly comes to stop. The screen flashes the words abnormal disruption.
Warning! Warning! The V710 is under attack by an unidentified source. Temporary defense mode has been activated. Hypercube force field is in effect.
What's happening?
The desert bandits haven't given up. They seem to have used the ash crystal to command the sandworms to attack the shelter again. Too close.
Death is your...
I am the Legion.
You forced me to do this!
You are all dead.
You gotten too close.
You forced me to do this!
Death is your only destination.
I am the Legion.
You forced me to do this!
Let the dance be. You are all done for.
You forced me to do this! Damn it! We defeated fight the desert bandits, but why are these sandworms still around?
With your level of power, it is impossible to defeat the sandworms, let alone ones controlled by an ash crystal. The only way to tame them is to go along with their nature.
Easy for you to say. What do we do now?
An exotic fragrance seeps out from the container in the stargazer's hand. The spice the sandworms love.
The battle back there tired out the sandworms. Now they need to soothe their spirits.
With a brush of her hand, the spice powder scatters to the wind and it drifts towards the fleet of desert bandits.
The sandworms stopped attacking.
Wow, it really worked!
Chief is right. The Stargazer is really good at dealing with crises in White Sands. If the Chief insists, I think it's okay for her to try to reactivate the ash crystal.
It's a dead crystal anyway. We can't possibly damage it further, so why not give it a shot? Instead of letting it rot away in the vault, we should take the gamble. I also support letting the Stargazer try. If that annoying old man starts blabbing again, we'll just cut the comms.
Martella.
No need to cut the comms. We'll just ignore him.
Savage. The Stargazer has fully proven her abilities in battle. Your companions have accepted her as part of the team and are now much friendlier to this fellow traveler. Someone has already taken the first step towards establishing trust. You are confident that if the Stargazer also takes a step forward, everyone will get along just fine. The scene from the shelter will not repeat itself. You look towards the Stargazer, but she is still gazing in the direction of the desert bandits. Ask the Stargazer what she is doing. Why do you keep staring in that direction?
Chief, to achieve something grand, one must be repeatedly tested. When old crises are resolved, new ones shall come.
Crisis? The desert bandits who had fled are now back again.
The desert bandits who had fled are now back again.
You've got some skills in these laptops.
So, my underlings failed to finish you off. You want to face me again, hey? You can escape from the Tide of Ashes once, but can you do it a second or third time?
The desert bandit boss appears holding the ash crystal while murmuring something under his breath.
What the heck is that old fart murmuring about? He's not calling the sandworms back again, is he?
It sounds like he wants us to enter the Tide of Ashes again.
Huh? How is that possible? It's not like it's some magic lamp that we go in and out of whenever he wants.
Serenaded by the desert bandits' boss' hysterical laughter, the wind begins to blow and the ground begins to shudder. Distant plumes of sand engulf the horizon at lightning speed. The Tide of Ashes is coming again.
All thanks to Invincible Me.
Stories. Good, though I don't feel the mood to sleep.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up.
Oh, Chief, you've got no time to be mad. Pick my side. Once you've made a name for yourself, we'll win all the money from the old foxes.
You're late. Keep up.
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
Holy... Is the tide of ashes that basic? It comes at the drop of a hat?
I don't think this tide of ashes formed naturally.
You follow the direction of Accade's finger aboard the desert bandit ship. The desert bandit boss is holding up the red glowing crystal, as if conducting some ritual.
Ash crystal can form a tide of ashes?
We can ponder the mechanics of it later. If we want to get out of here alive or stop the ash crystal, we must stage the ash crystal first. After analyzing the map with Kawakawa, I ordered the rest of the V710 crew to encircle the battlefield from both sides, aiming to corner the desert bandit ship. Surrender. Resistance is keen. However, the desert bandit boss is unfazed by the siege. He roars at you with bloodshot eyes.
You think I'm afraid of you dis-city lapdogs? You know very well what the people of White Sands have been through. You monopolized hypercubes to reap vast fortunes from White Sands. But you don't give a damn whether the people of White Sands live or die. It was me. I brought together all the persecuted people of White Sands, bestowed upon them hypercubes, and gave them the hope to live.
Rebuked angrily. What lies? Your actions are clearly pushing unarmed civilians into the abyss. You think this city doesn't know about your thought? You want to stir up trouble and sow discord, plunging more White Sands civilians into misery. You want this city to build more shelters. After all, it's much easier to raid civilian shelters than hypercube fighters with formidable defenses.
Shut up! Shut your filthy pie hole!
The enraged desert bandit boss swings his sword at you only to be blocked by Salah. The savage clash of metal sets off furious fall.
Crap! My hand is numb! What kind of sword is that?
Did you think I had no chance of winning?
The desert bandit's strength troubles you. It's not many, yet he has enough power to fight sinners in a way that ordinary person could.
Ella, be careful.
Ah! Oh, thank goodness I dodged quickly. That speed and strength is incredible. Are you sure that guy isn't a sinner or corrupter? Hecate and I couldn't beat him with our combined strength.
Not right now, but he will become one.
What do you mean?
He prayed to the ash crystal for power and received an answer. He has been bestowed the power of limbo, plunging him into paranoia and rage. Just like the shadowy figures whose souls have been devoured by the tide of ashes, it is only a matter of time before he becomes a corruptor.
You dare compare me to those holy monsters?
Aw, Miss Stargazer, your words really shattered his little heart.
You won't dare to speak with such insolence. I shall use the power bestowed upon me by the Ash Crystal to smite you, to smite this city, and obtain all the hypercubes. By then, I shall control everything in White Sands. I shall become the master of White Sands.
His arrogant cackles suddenly become faint whimpers as the stargazer looms before this desert bandit boss.
How humans hate and kill each other is of no consequence to me at all. But if you presume to use your tedious barbarism to mistreat and desecrate White Sands, that is unforgivable. Oh, desecrator of White Sands, the only place your soul deserves to be is hell.
The desert bandit boss locks his glare onto the stargazer.
If I die, then you shall also.
Black shadows entangle and smite the desert bandit boss, who stops breathing before he can spit out his last words. With a flick of her hand, the stargazer flings the desert bandit who had been jeering arrogantly just a moment ago like a rag doll into the desert. The white sand devours him immediately, leaving not even a single bone behind.
Chief, we didn't find any ash crystals on the ship. They must have been moved. The tide of ashes is approaching the shelter. We need to retreat to the V710.
As soon as you return to the V710, you receive word that the Outland Affairs Bureau has learned of the Desert Bandit's boss death. They also know the Ash Crystal is still at large and demand you to immediately continue pursuing the remaining dead bandits to retrieve it. Right now?
Can't we wait a little longer? There are still a lot of people in the shelter who haven't had the chance to board.
So what? Your mission is to chase down the desert bandit and retrieve the ash.
I can't turn a blind eye to
You say this because you want to obstruct the mission, don't you? Only a Quinn lackey would give such a ridiculous reason. You're just a navigator. You're not qualified to engage in our talks. MBCC Chief, you're a smart cookie who knows what you need to do, right?
Reproach bulletin. Did the Outland Affairs Bureau activate an emergency response to deal with the impending tide of ashes at the shelter? Are rescue measures being taken?
Are you trying to teach me what measures to take?
I'm not trying to teach you, I'm asking you. Or does the Chief of the Outland Affairs Bureau regard the lives and property of Outland civilians in White Sands as of little concern?
You!
If you indeed hold these views, I don't think there is any need to listen to your comms anymore. You shut off the comms.
Wow, Chief, that was so cool! See, Hecate, I told you not to stop me. No one can handle listening to that old fart.
Impressive. So this is the real Chief.
Chief, what shall we do now?
Prioritize saving civilians. Hecate, arrange for those in the shelter to board the ship. Hela, do a head count and make sure no one is left behind. Kawa, monitor the movement of the tide of ashes and report any update. No matter what happens, our priority is to save people. Save lives, all consequences.
There's no time.
After uttering these icy words, the stargazer turns to the raging tide of ashes.
At this speed, there's no time. There's simply no time to evacuate them. If we don't leave now, we'll get caught up in it too.
The desert bandits who took the ash crystal must be back. They don't intend to spare anyone here.
Chief, shall we leave?
I think no. No? Leave? After issuing such a riveting speech, how can you watch these innocent people perish because of her actions?
However, there is another foolproof way, and that is to use an ash crystal. It can drive away sandworms and pierce through ashes, for it is a creation born from the tide of ashes and the infallible treasure of the desert bandits.
You remember the dead ash crystal? Kawa, open the vault. You change your mind, the mission must be completed, but the people must be saved too. You are ready to trust your decision and trust the Stargazer. You decide to gamble on the abilities and wisdom of the Stargazer to open a path for you. Even if you are condemned as a heretic afterwards, you are willing to bet that she will be on your side. Give the ash crystal to the Stargazer. Try and see if you can reactivate it.
I was right about you. You are indeed a brave one.
The Stargazer flashes an inscrutable smile and takes the ash crystal from your hand. However, she does not let go of your hand, leading you onto the deck with her.
Stay with me, MBCC Chief. I need you.
I need you too.
Use your shackles to help me.
Ooh, sure. You obey her words and begin casting the power of the shackles into the dead crystal alongside her. Thanks to your efforts, the dull gray crystal begins to glow with luster.
Did we succeed?
Yeah, boy. The Stargazer's hands glow red as she guides you to raise up the ash crystal, her gaze reverent as if whispering to the stars.
Scatter. Depart. Wallow. Don't look back. Don't look back.
The moment the tide of ashes touches you, it dissolves into starry patches of light, scattering to the wind across white sand.
I can't believe it! This actually made the tide of ashes disappear!
Chief, the obstacle has been removed. It's time to close the net.
The song is good, bro.
I am the Legion.
You are all done. Death is your only destination.
Death is your own destiny.
You've gotten too close. You've gotten too close.
The job is done. Shall we sort out the pay?
You're late. Keep up. Didn't you say you want to witness the reformation of Syndicate? Stay with me at all times, then.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie,
Oh, are you here to see me, Chief? Feel free to take the time to look.
If you put a propeller on your head, then a solar panel and steering system, and finally a battery, you can replace my drone and become the most intelligent detector in White Sands. So, wanna try?
And she's very cool. Oh, the next day, Coalitions are set as she looks at the baseball bat. This batch from the supply office is so easily broken. I wonder if they're doing their job right.
You're
I feel like this is good for Zoya.
Whatever you say, whatever you need.
I think I'm gonna upgrade armor instead of EMP starting now. But Langley is better for me, I feel. I need core damage. Let's do one more.
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
With the help of the Stargazer, you easily track down the remaining desert bandits. The bunch of feral stragglers were mutated beyond the human recognition. One of these creatures is slicing open its companion's belly in a vain attempt to hide the ash crystal. Bloody innards spill all over the ground, intermingling with the eerie red glow of the crystal. What lunacy!
These are the humans you trust.
The Stargazer spits out these words, who no one in particular picks up the soggy ash crystal and tosses it into your hands. All the desert bandit remnants have been caught and the crystal is back in your hands. Now it's time to face the consequences.
Chief, the Outland Affairs Bureau has issued an urgent communications request.
Your previous action must have greatly offended the Outland Affairs Bureau. You must stress them properly. After you sign Hecate to interrogate the desert bandits, you rush to the cockpit. Since you successfully recovered 2 ash crystals and wiped out all the desert bandits, the Outland Affairs Bureau could only verbally admonish you for your unauthorized actions. After you hang up the comms, Hecate walks into the cockpit. It seems the interrogation has made some findings.
Chief, this is the Desert Bandits' interrogation record.
Hecate turns on the security footage and begins to replay the interrogation. You see the desert bandits, now deprived of the ash crystal, begging for mercy under the pressure of Hecate's nightmare, spewing out everything they know. You catch a key in their jumble of words. Filth flower.
The Desert Bandits said that their crystal came from a creature trapped in the depths of the Tide of Ashes, called the Filth Flower. When the Desert Bandits attained the crystal, they not only gained the power to control sandworms, but also used it to summon the Tide of Ashes.
There are living creatures in the depths of the Tide of Ashes. You try to recall the scene around you inside the Tide of Ashes, but you can't remember anything other than the oppressive and suffocating apostle of the ashes.
It's the source of the Tide of Ashes.
The Stargazer, who has been silent all this time, comes up to you and gently wipes the screen, replaying one of the desert bandits' confession.
It's the place where the Apostles of Ashes want to take you. No one knows what that place is, Nor does anyone know what the filth flower and its intentions are.
But if it's the source of the tide of ashes, then I guess we'll have to make the trip.
Well, theoretically, if you find the filth flower, you may find a way to end the tide of ashes. White Sands will regain its tranquility.
With the disclosure of information about the ash crystal, the conspiracy of the rampaging desert bandits has finally been unveiled. It is time for you to embark on a new journey.
Hey, you workaholics. Are you done with the report yet? Hecate, I told you to bring Chief over to the celebratory party as soon as you drop off the record. But I waited all day and neither of you came back.
Celebratory party?
Yes, the shelter arranged it to show their gratitude.
Let's go already! Kawa is already there!
Kawa.
Here's to our adventure! Cheers! Hey, why are you being such a party pooper? It's time to wine and dine and party all night! Right, Kawa?
Yes! This is delicious. Another one, please.
Yuck! Swallow before you talk.
I just feel so happy to have met you guys and joined in the mission.
Ugh, so corny. Are you babbling nonsense because you're drunk? Who would be happy to meet a sinner?
I didn't drink. These are my true feelings. We even found new ash crystals. Maybe we'll be able to break through the tide of ashes and chart a perfect White Sands route.
The bonfire burns brightly, illuminating Kawakawa's blushing face and bright eyes.
Of course, it's all thanks to Chief and Miss Stargazer. What a pity that she did not come to the party. I still have a lot of questions for her. Maybe Miss Stargazer didn't come because she doesn't want to be pestered by you. Am I really that annoying? I'm sorry.
The Stargazer didn't come.
Yes. Chief, do you want to take her along for tomorrow's operation?
Of course. The decision is really up to her. You guys continue, I'll go find her. You stand up to leave the celebratory party. You want to find the Stargazer, but you realize after leaving the noisy party that you don't know where she is. The huge full moon glows brightly in the night sky. For some reason, you remember the recurring dream you had countless times before, where you follow the full moon forward step by step, just like you're doing now. Tingling, tingling. The crisp clicking of metal rises from behind the low sandy dune. Is someone there? Go around the sand dune. Damn, she's pretty, bro. Under the full moon, the Stargazer is dancing. No, it is not simply a dance. It is a language. You never witnessed it before, but you're sure of it. As she turns to you with her strange dance steps, you see that her eyes are gently closed, immersed in some kind of silent music. You are awestruck by this earnest and fierce side of the mysterious and inscrutable Stargazer. You hold your breath, but she still senses you.
You came to ask me to stay.
She's not posing a rhetorical question. She has simply read your mind. How did you know?
You asked a strange question. Let me answer you this way. I know everything about you. I already completed your requests. I should be leaving anyways. Why are you asking me to stay?
Watashi wa anata o suki desu. You are a sinner.
So, you want to arrest me? I'm with.
Let me reintroduce myself. I am the Chief of the Minos Bureau of Crisis Control. I have the power of shackles, which is similar to the ash crystals and can inhibit sinners' mania. I hope that I can help you curb your mania so that you can continue to accept my request and use the power of crystal to help us find the location of this mysterious life form.
You didn't answer my question, Chief. Why do you insist that I stay? Just because of the mission?
You asked me before.
Dreams are the projection of reality. You are indeed special and beloved by White Sands. Though you are beloved by White Sands, will you choose it in return? Will you leave the human world?
Your decision is choose White Sands. I will not give up White Sands. You said it loves me. Then more the reason for me to explore its deepest secrets. I want to know why it made me have such a dream. The stargazer chuckles, her voice is cold and crisp, like the metal sequins of her skirt clinking against each other under the pale moonlight.
Even if this leads you to danger and deception, to a path of no return, or even death.
I have made my decision. Even so.
You are indeed unique. I knew that from the moment I set eyes on you. Words are like quicksand, slipping through one's fingers. I hid the diamond between the sands, yet you are blind to it.
Diamond.
It's about the truth regarding you and me. You and I, we are both others in this world. Monsters.
Isn't it lonely to exclude yourself from everyone else? The moon cloaks stargazer's face in misty moonlight, blurring her expression from you.
From the day I became aware of my power, to the day I was condemned as a heretic, till now, I have never felt alone.
Sinner's power?
No, the power of prophecy. Divining for others has a special meaning for me. It was the first time I encountered that world and felt its power. It allowed me to see the omen. I became obsessed, intent on using the omens to catch a glimpse of the end of the world. Back in reality, everything I prophesied came true one by one. For a while, I became a deity in everyone's eyes.
Stargazer tilts her head. The pale light cascades into her eyes, fusing into glimmers of sadness.
But more than admiration, humans feared this power. My people treated me as a deviant in league with the devil. I was constantly shunned and chased away. I became a monster to the world. From then on, I've been waiting against the crowd in pursuit of the truth that belongs to me. I've also been waiting for my true companion. The crystal ball told me that the answers to my questions lie inside the tide of ashes. So I left my people and ventured into the tide of ashes alone.
Alone?
Yes. I almost died in that sandstorm. It, who hails from the other world, saved me and bestowed me an eternal life of a different kind. I finally felt the kindness of a companion. I will never forget the kindness from my companion. Thus, I'm certain that even if separated by language and thought, there are more of my kind in this world. Thank you for choosing to understand me no matter what. It makes me very happy. So, I choose to help you again. You little monster who wants to understand monsters.
Sure.
Ah, look. The full moon has risen to the middle of the sky.
The moonlight blankets the desert in a dreamlike book. The stargazer dances amidst the stream. No one wants to shift their gaze. He dances so movingly. Such beauty can only be expressed by someone who believes in dreams. The next day you command the V710 to leave the shelter and head for the tide of ashes. The closer you get to that gloomy black tempest, the heavier everyone's breathing becomes. Everyone instinctively wants to avoid that place, that unknown horrific realm of death. Everyone except Stargazer.
Chief, the tide of ashes is ahead.
I have the crystals ready. Go, Chief, go! I believe we can do it.
You nod towards everyone and hand the two crystals to the Stargazer once more. The Stargazer takes the crystal and leaps lightly onto the bow railing, perching on her toes. She holds the crystal in her hands, letting the sand lace her hair and clothes.
Chief, go and experience that dangerous path you're determined to take.
What do you... The howling sandstorm suddenly spences, and you struggle to keep your eyes open. Amidst the dust crowding the sky, you suddenly perceive something. Hecate, Hela! The wind subsides and the dust disperses. Stargazer has long disappeared from the bow railing. In front of the sand ship are several sandworms with gaping mouths.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up and pull me back to reality. Hello, Chief. Welcome back.
5,000 times 100 equals 100,000. That's a lot for one promotion. One equals 5. 80 times 5, 40.
Keep up! Don't fall behind!
One ferocious sandworm prostrates obediently before the stargazer, as if welcoming her return.
Are you happy for it too? The two hearts lost to the mortal world are finally back. But there are constantly pesky people in the way. What can be done?
The stargazer asks this in his teasing tone, squinting her eyes. It is a rhetorical question, practically a taunt. A few black shadows reappear from her crystal balls, severing the only path between you. For a split second, you feel as if you're dreaming a nightmare.
Hey! Give the ash crystals back! They're ours! Damn! What the are those black things? How dare they block my path!
It's true they don't belong to me, but they are certainly not yours. It, they, and of course, me. We all belong to White Sands, to the Dream Flower. Filth Flower? What a horrible slur that tarnishes its real name. I've been waiting for this moment ever since you set foot in White Sands.
So you've been deceiving us from the beginning?
Deceive? We each took what we needed from each other. I needed the ash crystals held by you and the desert bandits. You needed me to help you defeat the desert bandits. It's a win-win. Now it is time for me to collect my payment. Farewell. It is time to end this ridiculous game of companionship.
The stargazer hops on a sandworm and departs before your eyes. Chaser.
Yeah, I heard you. But these shadows. How the do we get rid of them?
Chief, the more we struggle and fight, the more fiercely these dark shadows attack and bind us.
Upon hearing Hecate's description, you sense that these dark shadows bear a striking similarity to that mysterious horrific entity. If the shadows are also powered by sensing the emotions of the target, order Hecate and Hela then. Hecate, Hela, stop your attack. Now focus on thinking about what we need, what we want to do. We want to go forward and find the stargazer. The dark shadows halt their attacks when you stop to think. They remain frozen in place, then begin to dash in one direction as if suddenly injected with consciousness.
Let's follow.
You pilot the sand ship hot on the shadow's tail and soon catch up to the stargazer. A furious Hela grabs a water pipe and throws it at the stargazer.
Come down, you witch!
Ah, you remembered what I told you well. Seems like you're really into me.
The stargazer recalls the dark shadows into the crystal ball and gazes at you with amusement. Question the stargazer. Why are you doing this? Is it because you don't trust us enough? We won't harm any creatures in White Sands, nor do we seek to conquer it. As soon as the tide of ashes is gone, and the trade across White Sands returns to normal, we will leave.
No, Chief. I approached you simply for the ash crystals.
You don't understand. After she helped you in the tide of ashes, and your heart-to-heart talk under the moonlight, you come to completely trust her. But for her,
Still don't get it. Ever since it saved me, I knew I belonged to White Sands, to this other world. As for mankind, an identity built upon a world of lies is naturally also a lie.
just for the ash crystals. If everything you did was just for the ash crystals, then why did you save me?
I don't know. Maybe out of amusement. Because for me, whether I want to save or kill someone, it's only a split-second decision.
You really don't want to become my companion. It doesn't matter whether I'm your true choice or not. The important thing is, though we may not have the same goal, we can benefit from the same end result. Yet what you are doing right now is clearly
betrayal? You think this is betrayal? No matter who you make a deal with, there's a gamble you must take, my good chief. You should have looked closely to see if I'm a good sword to use, or a double-edged sword. Moreover, my dear chief, this isn't betrayal, it's revenge.
why though? The Stargazer enunciates the word revenge in an eerily calm tone.
Humanity must pay the price for what they did to White Sands and the Dreamflower.
Before you can ponder the meaning of these words, the Stargazer speaks again.
Chief, remember when you promised that you would do something for me? How about this? You promised to do one thing for me, and I'll agree to this deal. I'll tell you what you need to do later. Don't be nervous. It's nothing difficult.
Yes. I remember you also said you won't make it difficult for me.
That's right. Now it's time to make good on that promise. Leave and go back to this city. Learn to accept parting ways. Give up your pursuits of the unknown. Go now and leave it be. Although you always want me to stay, this time, you can't use any more tricks to make me.
A sudden gust of sand begins to swirl around the Stargazer. You instinctively step forward to pursue her, but your companions pull you back.
Chief, the Stargazer summoned the Tide of Ashes. We don't have any ash crystals. We mustn't make any risky moves. Moreover,
If we chase her, we have to fight these sandworms first.
The enemy will have a special attack, but make sure you protect the sands. White Sands citizens. Protect their civilians, lose zero sand in battle.
is your own destination.
You forced me to do this!
You are all done.
You've gotten too close.
I am the Legion.
Death is your own destination.
You are all done.
I am the Legion.
Death is your own.
Let the dance begin.
You are all done.
The sandworms gradually retreat and the stargazer has vanished completely out of sight. Yet you've been caught up here for too long and the tide of ashes surrounds you once more.
Chief, we can't go any further. Out of safety concerns, we should stop the pursuit and return to the V710.
I agree! Chief, it's too dangerous to keep chasing!
You understand the perils before you, but you are not willing to leave. The answers you want you can be found in the storm, whether it's regarding the stargazer, the dream flower, or the tide of ashes. Pursue alone. Hey kid, Hela, you two go back. I'm going after the stargazer alone.
Huh? You moron! Do you have any idea what you're saying? Or are you having an aneurysm again?
I don't agree either.
I know you two are worried about my safety, but I know how to find the stargazer.
But
You guys go back to V710 and find me with reinforcements.
is that an order?
Yes.
Oh. Alright, Chief. Please be careful. We will come to your aid as soon as possible.
Hey! Hecate! Why are you being as dumb as this moron? Hecate!
Hecate uses a nightmare to bind and toss Ella into the back seat of the hovercraft. She then stands before you, gazing at you for a long time.
Chief, I'll be waiting for your return.
You smile at Hecate and nod your head. From the depths of the tide of ashes, a huge and horrible dark shadow is emerging. Upon spotting it, you immediately send Hecate back to the V710 in the hovercraft. You face the arrival of the Apostle of Ashes with inner peace.
Fear is a prayer of pessimism, and the apostles will answer that call. My dear guest, if you want this place to become heaven, your heart must become heaven first. As I said, fear has power. It attracts and drives the apostles of ashes. Ignorance breeds arrogance, and likewise fear. Over the years, the apostles of ashes have accumulated immeasurable power from fear. They perish from the power of their own fear.
The unknown breeds fear. This is the second time you face the apostles of ashes. The stargazer may have deceived you, but what you have experienced will not. The stargazer thinks he belongs to the dream flower, which is the source of the tide of ashes. Thus, when the apostle who is also born from the tide of ashes stops sensing fear, it may return to the dream flower. Follow the apostles of ashes. You hop on the hovercraft and follow the roaming apostles of ashes.
Come to where I am.
It's the call of the mirage. When you try harder to listen, dead silence returns to your ears.
This is home.
The call echoes again. The direction the sound is coming from seems to be where the apostles are heading. After God knows how long, the apostles of ashes finally halt and stand in silence. Before them is a wall of sand that dwarfs even their size. Is this the end point? You look up at everything around. Wait, let me... Oh, it means that the wall is so big that even the apostles look so small. Interesting. The hovercraft continues forward, rushing towards the wall of sand whipped up by the gale before the apostles. Amid a strong lurch of turbulence, you squeeze your eyes shut and let the currents sweep the hovercraft towards the wall of sand. Behind the wall of sand under broad daylight, a realm that has been silent for many years finally greets a new visitor.
You messed with the wrong person.
Bro, I'm sleepy, bro.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show.
That's it, guys. I'm gonna turn off. We'll continue with this tomorrow. We'll continue with this tomorrow. Hope you had a great time watching this. Thank you for watching. Adios. Bro, I'm sleepy, bro.